What is up, guys? My name is Doc Bones, but you can call me D. Today we're going to be playing Dark Souls, and I'm looking to start a series running through the entire franchise Dark Souls. The first Dark Souls, the Abyss Walker DLC, Dark Souls 2, and the entire thing that came along with it. And hopefully we'll have all of that done by the end of the month, and we'll go right into Dark Souls 3. Hopefully. So, as this is kind of the debut of the channel, I don't want people to automatically assume that I'm going to be only doing Dark Souls content. It's just, as a huge fan of the series, I kind of figure it's where I should be starting. So, without much further ado, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to knock out the character creation. But I am going to leave like the intro and stuff. So let's go ahead and get it started, shall we? I'll just skip the character creation. So give me just a moment. Alright guys, there's that taken care of, and we're just going to go ahead and jump right in with the intro. So if you haven't played it, we're going to leave everything to go just along for you. Well, yeah.
In the age of ancients, the world was unformed, shrouded by fog. A land of grey crags, arch trees, and everlasting dragons. But then there was fire, and with fire came disparity. Heat and cold, life and death, and of course, light and dark. Then from the dark they came and found the souls of lords within the flame. Nito, the first of the dead. The Witch of Izalith and her daughters of Chaos. Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight, and his faithful knights. And the furtive pygmy, so easily forgotten. With the strength of lords, they challenged the dragons. Gwyn's mighty bolts peeled apart their stone skins. The witches weaved great firestorms. Nito unleashed a miasma of death and disease. And Seath, the scales, betrayed his own, and the dragons were no more. Thus began the Age of Fire. But soon the flames will fade, and only dark will remain. Even now, there are only embers, and man sees not light, but only endless nights. And amongst the living are seen carriers of the accursed dark side.
Is that where it begins? It is. Okay, so I do want... Oh, not quite. Well, I guess, yeah, it's actually...
Yes, indeed. The dark sign brands the undead. And in this land, the undead are corralled and led to the north. Where they are locked away to await the end of the world.
So as you can see, we started
This
the war here, by the way.
is your fate.
Okay, I think we're good to talk now. So I do want to focus very heavily on the story of this. I'm not gonna like spend time reading all the item descriptions, but I'm not gonna skip any cutscenes because they're just it's just so cool. I love everything about this game. And Dark Souls 2 and Bloodborne, FromSoft has done so much that has just been so good. And I do encourage you to play it for yourself if you haven't. But this is just kind of my contribution to the society. So I have, if you hadn't guessed, I have played this a lot of times before. I am, okay. So I'm actually, I've got the Steam controller, which is, for the most part, it's really nice. But it's a little weird. So, if I seem like I'm like I've never played this game before, or I'm controlling strange or whatever, it's because I'm still getting used to the controller. Still, to this day. So, I mean, I'd like to hear any feedback from anybody who watches this, whether it's, one person or two people, I don't care, friends or family, or a total stranger. I'd like to know what your feedback is, what you want to see me do, if you want to see me do anything with this game. If there's anything else you want me to play, just let me know. But money is a constraint. I can't just go out and buy all the new games all the time. So if it's a paid game, it might take me a little while to get to it. But if it's a free game, as soon as I see that somebody wants to play it, I'll play it. It's just, I don't know. I'm doing this for me, partially, but I'm also doing it for people out there, because I feel like I have been wanting to do this kind of stuff pretty much ever since I found out about it. And even before I even knew it was a thing, I always kind of wanted to record myself playing and see if I could, if anybody would be interested. Because I always used to love watching my brother and my dad, and even my mom, play video games. It was something or at least I felt like we did as a family. But I guess it was just something I really enjoyed. And I feel like the Let's Plays kind of let you do that with other people who you may not know, but because of how much time you end up spending with them, they kind of become like family. Or maybe not family, but definitely like close friends or even just friends. Oh, crap. So, I don't know if you guys can see this very well. That was a giant boulder. We'll see it. Or, I don't know if it's really a boulder. It's like a giant cannonball, just a giant metal ball. So we're going to go ahead and talk about it.
Oh, you. You're no hollow. Thank goodness. I'm done for, I'm afraid. I'll die soon, then lose my sanity. I wish to ask something of you. You and I are both undead. Hear me out, will you? Regrettably, I have failed in my mission, but perhaps you can keep the torch lit. There is an old saying in my family: thou who art undead art chosen, and thine exodus from the Undead Asylum maketh pilgrimage to the land of ancient lords. When thou ringest the bell of awakening, the fate of the undead thou shalt know. Well, now you know, and I can die with hope in my heart. Oh, one more thing. Here, take this. An Estus flask. an undead favorite. Oh, and this. Now I must bid farewell. I would hate to harm you after death. So go now, and thank you.
I'd also kind of, I mean, I don't know how much people actually care. I'm sorry about the video quality and the audio quality for now. I'm just using a webcam and a headphone microphone, or a Apple headset microphone. So hopefully in the future, if people are interested in, and I can get enough going, I can probably invest in higher quality stuff. But for now, it's what I've got, and it's what I'm using, and eventually I'll probably invest in a sheet or something to hang behind me, because I know my spiral stairs, they're kind of pretty, but at the same time, they're kind of cluttered right now. And, well, not really cluttered, there's just some stuff back there. And, yeah, I just feel like just like a sheet or some sort of backdrop would be better for doing this kind of stuff. So I was saying something before, oh yeah, like if there's anything you want me to play, or if you just like, if there's something that you're like on the fence about, or like you're kind of interested in playing it, but nobody seems to be playing it and you can't really find any good reviews, just let me know. If it's something that's like cheap, I can pick it up, especially because if it's for the benefit of you guys. Because even if I only have 3 people watching me, that means that's only 3 people that I have to pay attention to. Well, okay. I have to pay attention to more than 3 people. That's 3 people offering me their time, and so in return, the least I can do is offer you my time and do my best to help you. And I'm going to try to do this without looking like too much of a scrub. Why is my dodge button not working? So I will say the one thing that I hope is implemented, and from what I understand, it has been with certain like conditions in Dark Souls 3, is the Bloodborne style of dodging rather than rolling around all over the place. You actually have like side steps and like lunges rather than rolling, because the rolls, although it's very suiting of this area, like this type of game. It's very clumsy, and you end up usually overshooting, and you end up wasting a lot more time than you'd think you'd save yourself in combat like that. But I mean, it's nice. It's a skill-based dodge system, and I like that. I like RPGs that are not only stat-based but also skill-based, because Dark Souls is a level-based RPG. It's very and equipment. Like any other RPG, I suppose. But a lot of it revolves around your skill. You can go through this game, you can beat this game using voice commands, I mean, if you're good enough, using...
Only in the ancient legends it is stated that one day an undead shall be chosen. To leave the Undead Asylum in pilgrimage to the land of the ancient lords. Lordran.
I don't think she has any more to say. What was I saying? Oh, right, like, so there's like videos of people beating this game and some of the hardest bosses in this game with like a Guitar Hero guitar or a Rock Band drum set, and like I said, Twitch plays beat this game, and so it's crazy the things people are doing nowadays, and I'm sitting here acting like I'm a cool kid using a controller. But I mean, I find this game, although it is challenging, the charm of it comes from the story. And I am a sucker for stories.
Well,
Like,
what do we have here?
I should
You
probably finish
must
this.
be a new arrival. Let me guess. Fate of the undead, right? Well, you're not the first. But there's no salvation here. You'd have done better to rot in the Undead Asylum. But too late now. Well, since you're here, let me help you out. There are actually 2 bells of awakening. One's up above in the Undead Church. The other is far, far below, in the ruins at the base of Blight Town. Ring them both, and something happens. Brilliant, right? Not much to go on, but I have a feeling that won't stop you. So, off you go. It is why you came, isn't it? To this accursed land of the undead?
So, like I said, I'm a sucker for story and lore, especially. Lore is one of my favorite things in a game. If it's got good gameplay, like just playable gameplay, and then you can discover so much more about the story by just looking at the things in the background or reading item descriptions or just talking to people who have nothing else other than to offer you lore. It's just, I feel it adds a lot to a game. And I know there's other people out there who agree with me, but at the same time, there's a lot of people out there who very much prefer the mechanics of a game. So I'm going to try to keep these episodes to about 20 minutes. I feel like that's a good length. My original thought was to do it boss by boss, but then some areas would get a lot more attention. Areas like the Duke's Archives, because there's only one boss. You know, long areas that only have one like major boss at the end would get a lot more attention than some of the smaller places that are broken up into small boss fights. So I think I'm going to keep it to 20 minutes. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less, depending on if we hit good stopping points. This area brings back so many. No matter how many times I've played through this area, it brings back so many memories. Because the first time I played this game, I started as a knight, and I didn't really understand anything. And this area gave me so much trouble because that fire bomber would just keep pelting me. And I didn't understand the rolling mechanic well enough. And yeah. And I died like, I think 6 or 7 times up here. And also, dying 6 or 7 times, I thought that was some, like, massive failure, like dying 6 times was a lot. And for most games, dying 6 times is a lot. But Dark Souls, death is part of the experience. By dying, you learn the patterns of your opponents and where they're coming from. And I'm going to try, hopefully, to balance this, because I hate how loud the water is. But it matters. Your death matters because you learn about your environment and how to overcome challenges. And that to me is a very cool mechanic. It makes me, it now makes me feel like when I die, it's not a big deal. Losing, even if I die and actually lose souls, because when you die, you see down there in the bottom right, it's been collecting numbers every time I kill something. Those are your souls, which are basically your experience and your currency. So you kind of have to decide whether you're going to buy items or level up. So it's not a horrible system. I actually really like it. I like it a lot. I'm sorry also, I feel like I'm apologizing all the time, but I'm sorry if the camera's really like jumpy. Oh, hello there. Because there is no secondary analog stick, as you can see. It's just this touchpad, and it's kind of weird, but it's kind of nice at the same time because it allows me like more finite movements. But the problem is when trying to do anything else that's like longer scoped, it takes multiple scrolls. Also, I just heard a little bit of audio issues there. I don't know what the proper word is. So I don't know what the problem is. Hopefully that doesn't happen too often. I actually forgot that that was rubbish, which has a use, but I don't remember. Oh, you give it right. You give it to the bird. So I might talk more about the lore if people are interested at later points, but for now I'm going to try to avoid it because the lore can get pretty heavy. And I will like to throw this out here, though. I do encourage anybody who's interested in this game to go out and pick it up and play it and explore. Like, don't be there is no right answer. But I don't want you to experience it entirely through me. I would like to share my experiences with you. So that's why I'm not going to be reading like item descriptions and things. I'm going to be giving very basic lore through the cutscenes, as well as if something is something. If there's something I really like, then I'll probably explain it as to why I like it. And I feel like this is going to be a bit of a. I don't want to say kind of a lame series for people because I've played this a lot. I know where everything is for the most part. I know where all of the enemies are at least. There's really not many surprises left for me, so it's going to be mostly just a skill playthrough, and it's a lot of nostalgia for me. There you go. I don't want this to be for me. I want people to enjoy it with me, and so if there's something I can do that will make this more interesting for you, please let me know. Either send me a message or just say down in the comments. I don't know if I'll have time to read all the comments, but I'd like to thank anybody who's actually watching this episode with me, who's watching this episode that I'm doing right now, because even if you're not going to subscribe or you're not going to keep watching, at least took the time to give me a chance, and I really appreciate that. So it's been. My timer says 19:45, so we've got about 15 seconds till about the 20-minute mark, but I don't really care. Like I said, I'm going to keep it roughly in that zone. And we made some decent progress. We got to see some of the coolest cutscenes, I think. And hopefully you're interested enough to keep with me and keep kindling the fire. So if you liked the video, go ahead and drop a like. If you didn't, drop a dislike. I don't care. But if you would like to see the rest of the series with me, if you want to follow me through it, go ahead and subscribe. If you're interested in anything else, please, again, subscribe. Everything helps. And for those of you who are here and watching this, whether it's sometime in the future or as soon as it gets uploaded, I really appreciate it. If anything happens with this channel, you're going to be the ones who make it happen. So, thanks again. Have a great day. Or night, or whatever. I really need to work on an outro, and that'll come with time, I think. So, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.